Practice number 5. I thought the energy level was really pretty good, considering it was one of those. It's the Monday after spring break. You tend to have a little bit of a rough day. The offense had a rough day. Defense really dominated the day. The defensive players accuse me that I'm always in a bad mood if the offense doesn't have a good day. But I'm in a good mood because the defense had a good day, so they can't call me an offensive head coach anymore. But the defense did extremely well. I don't think the offense has won an inside drill yet this entire spring. Defense won the pass skeleton 17-14. Then 11 on 11, win 11 on 11. The defense won. I think the ones versus the ones was it's like 12-5, and the twos versus twos was like 11-6. And it's a little bit of objective or subjective, I guess, in that when you thud, you don't give a back a chance to break a tackle and get a first down or whatever it is. If we get a good solid thud prior to the yardage that's needed, I give the point to the defense. So, the Dolphins might have got a couple more if a back would have broke a tackle. Trying to think of some guys that have played well. One guy actually was written about in the paper, might have been yesterday. Win in the banner, in the Athens banner. Anyway, but
we don't read that paper.
No, I don't either. I noticed that he got written up, but he really has had a great spring, in my opinion, to this point. He's very strong.
Who was that, Mark?
Win. Jerry's Win. After talking to you guys Friday when we left town, when I was riding home, I was like, I should have really mentioned Jerry's, because he had really a good Thursday, Friday. I can't say I noticed him as much today, but earlier today I was watching film on Thursday, Friday, and he really is playing well. Jeffrey Owens is playing well. Ellerby is playing real well. Rennie Curran he's gonna, just like in the season, just like in high school, his nose is on the ball. Somehow he finds a way to get to that football and get the tackle or a part of that tackle. And he's doing the same thing here in the spring. I think Quentin Banks has had some good moments. Asher's had a very solid spring. Well, Marcus Brown has really had a nice spring at corner to this point. I've seen a lot more out of him than I've seen in the past. So those are some of the defensive guys that have looked good. But I'll just kind of open it up.
That said about the offense, Mark, you still expect with some of the effort you saw, like with Caleb King and then
Caleb, I tell you, Caleb had a couple nice runs today, but I'll tell you, we had a couple runs today I wasn't real happy with. Then I'm not talking about Caleb in particular. Really, just about all those young backs at one time or another today had a run where they really didn't finish the way we expect the guy to finish. When you have the human equation, two guys getting ready to make contact, you expect some kind of, you don't expect one guy to stop one guy in his tracks, but the defense on a couple of occasions just stopped our backs right at the point of contact. There's got to be some kind of yards after contact. And even though it was a thud drill, there were some good knock-em backs today by the defense. And then we kind of got on the runners a little bit, and then they began to finish a little bit more physical.
Did you throw the ball much today in today's drill?
We threw it around a little bit. Matthew's had, I think, an outstanding spring overall. He's been more willing to just throw it out in the flat if the guy's there. Not always trying to force it downfield. He's moved in the pocket much better. He absolutely, has command of the offense, what we're trying to do. He's been extremely accurate.
You're talking about those guys not finishing their runs. Does any of that, do you think, a product? No, Sean's obviously not going as much, and they don't see how hard he goes all the time.
Yeah, I thought of that. Matter of fact, I was going to talk to our staff a little bit about maybe getting O'Shawn a little bit more for that very reason. Just so you guys can see what it looks like. But I'll tell you, I think we're doing the wise thing in that, Dontavius needs so much work. And Richard Samuel needs so much work. And Caleb still needs so much work. And three backs, those three backs especially, and Calvin is getting some carries, and those guys need it. They just need more reps to understand what's going on, and the chance to get them ready to play next year. They need as much as they can stand. So I see why we're not giving O'Shawn much. It makes very good sense, but the point you made about are they really seeing what it looks like? And then O'Shawn needs it too. He's getting a couple reps here and there, and he'll get rusty. He's human. We need to keep him getting depth a little bit, not get him too much.
Coach Bobo a while ago, Mark told me that earlier in the year, O'Shawn's going 100 miles an hour so much, and he's showing probably at the end of the year a little more patience. He complimented Caleb.
Talk about reading his blocks.
Yeah,
and
Caleb
that
being
kind of,
even maybe a little more patient than O'Shawn at times, the way he reads, And
Caleb does have a good. I saw that last week a good bit. I didn't notice it as much today. I usually don't see that until I watch the film because I'm looking from the sideline. When a guy jumps off sides or lines up in the neutral zone, I take him over there and give him up downs and all that stuff. So I don't really see what's happening from behind until I watch the film. But I thought Caleb has done a nice job of just setting up his blocks, being patient, like you say, and then when he sees him, he's been slashing upfield instead of like you say, getting the ball, going as hard and as fast as you can to your aim point. You tend to run into somebody. You've got to have a little separation between you and the block to see it. And some guys are trying so hard to impress or whatever that they tend not to do what they would naturally do when they relax a little bit.
When you have this many players back on defense and some other guys like Kate and Rashad, who are not considered starters but have obviously played amongst them in the past, what is the biggest advantage? I mean, are you teaching? I know you've got younger guys that you're always teaching, but does it seem like with those guys you're not teaching as much and they can kind of take advantage of this?
We are still teaching, but there's a lot of great competition. That's the great thing right now. A lot of great competition. Guys trying to fight for a starting position, trying to fight for playing time. And right now, just going into spring, there's a good many guys on defense that have already proven they deserve reps. I mean, we've got. I could sit here and there's probably at least 5 defensive ends that are ready to play. Have already played. There's at least 4 defensive linemen that are ready to play. Interior defensive linemen. When it's at least 2 deep in those spots, and maybe even 3 deep. When you have that many guys that you have confidence can play, it gives you a chance to withstand injuries. It gives you a chance to play harder and faster because you're not asking one guy to be the hero down after down after down, and it creates excitement on your team when a lot of guys know they're going to play. We're trying to get that kind of depth all the way around. I see a lot of strong competition at cornerback. I see a lot of corners that we know. We've seen Brian Evans play. He can play. We know Asher can play. We know Prince can play. We know. We believe that Cuff is getting in position where he could play more. Remarcus Brown has already proved he can play. So that's 5 guys that so far that have proved that they can play for us, and so that it gives us more energy, gives us more special teams. It helps us. So we're trying to get that across the board. And defensively, we have a chance to have a lot of guys ready to play.